Good morning, good afternoon. We are just waiting for a couple more people to join, and we will get started in about 2 minutes. All right, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar. We will be covering the topic of making your big data ecosystem work better for you, where we will cover Hortonworks DataFlow and how you can leverage it to connect and expand your footprint of your offering. The presenter will be Mark Lochbeiler, and we do ask you to hold your questions, type your questions into the window, and we will save 15 minutes for Q&A at the end. And away we go. So, Mark, I will turn it over to you.
Anna, thank you so much. Hey, everyone, this is Mark Lochbeiler. I'm with Partner Engineering at Hortonworks, and very, very excited to be here today. We've got a great agenda for you. You can see it there, hopefully, on your screen. We'll cover connected data platforms with Hortonworks as an intro for those that aren't familiar yet with our offerings. That'll be very quick. We'll go into describing HDF 2.0, Hortonworks DataFlow 2.0, the platform, so we can have a baseline. We'll talk about data ingestion into Hadoop. That is a common theme in the market, and we have made it very easy. We want to share that. We will also then look at platform usage cases. Then we're going to discuss our new product integration certification with 2.0 of HDF. We'll tell you how to get started and what's involved. And then we actually have some very, very exciting partner ecosystem solutions to share with you from some of our already certified HDF partners in our ecosystem. We've got some information at the end so you can do a follow-up yourself. And so with that said, let's dive right into the intro. So the first thing is with Hortonworks, we're talking about creating actionable insights. So what that means is we need to capture perishable insight in real time, and we're going to be doing that by analyzing data in motion. At the center of your screen, you can see data in motion. That is our HDF platform. We'll be using this. We'll be drilling. Folks need to drill into terabytes and petabytes of data at rest. That's your historical information, so the HTTP. And at the center of this lives modern data apps. They basically live at the intersection of these connected platforms. So whether you're working in data discovery space, you're trying to bring innovation to single view or of a customer, or maybe an example would be predictive analytics, you can bring innovation with actionable insights leveraging connected data platforms. Now, what we wanted to share here are a few modern data apps that convert yesterday's impossible task into today's new products, cures, or conveniences, or even actually life-saving innovation. So you can see here we've got cybersecurity as an example. We've got leading-edge companies who are looking at future connected automated cars. That's actually with a age-old industry of auto industry, but we've got leading companies looking at future farming, automatic recommendation engines, I should say. And so all of this is helping us to innovate, and whether it's off the shelf or customized, the data in motion and data at rest with modern data apps are allowing us to create innovation, significant innovation in the organization. So with that as a background, let's dive into data in motion. Let's dive into Hortonworks DataFlow 2.0, the platform, to talk about what we've just launched recently. With Hortonworks DataFlow 2.0, we have, if we look at it from, let me hit the motion here, we've got sources, and those sources have on the left, they're actually sometimes constrained. They've got local context. Sometimes there's a high degree of latency involved in getting to the data or supporting those edge devices. So we've got that out at the edge. If we move a little closer, we've got regional and even core infrastructures at our core data centers. And in those cases, we're working with whether we're on-prem or leveraging cloud or even hybrid, we've got to be able to move data, and we have global context. We have to keep global context in mind. So we actually need an enterprise-grade data movement platform, and that is what NiFi brings us as part of HDF for moving data and events, and we want to be able to move that bi-directionally. So this is the world we're living in now. So what we focus on first, one of the first components of HDF is NiFi. And this allows for easy real-time code-free movement of data. And let me just describe for you what NiFi brings. It actually is an end-to-end data flow management system. It provides provenance, or another term would be data lineage, and it offers an interactive command and control UI to seamlessly build these data flows within minutes versus a coding exercise. It's optimized for, we do want to point out that we've optimized for delivery of data from any source across any point A to B to C, and we've optimized it for HDP. That is, we've got connectors and processors for HDFS, Hive, Spark, HBase, seamless integration, but we also don't discriminate. We will deliver data to and from any source. So that's NiFi. If we expand that and we look at MiniFi, MiniFi is a edge data collection capability that we've added with 2.0. It does also, it extends our data plane of control. It does provide provenance or lineage out to the edge. It does work on a centralized command and control methodology. So we've expanded and we've added MiniFi. So let's actually look at MiniFi as a new component to the HDF architecture complementing NiFi. You'll see a lot of the same capabilities that you are familiar with if you've been using NiFi. Down the left-hand side, guaranteed delivery, data buffering, prioritized queuing, etc. We've mentioned provenance. On the right, we've got recording a rolling log of fine-grained history, and it's also built to be extensible by customers and partners. But one major difference in the NiFi the component is it's architected from a design and deploy method, and it also supports warm redeploys. So it's a little bit different, a little bit lighter weight, but it does extend out our data plane and control out to the edge. So if we move on a little bit further, we want to talk also about what we've added a Storm, Kafka, and Kafka to HDF 2.0, and that's going to allow us, from a Kafka perspective, that gives us high throughput durability and replayable messaging. So that's very, very important for building out solutions with HDF. And Storm's offering high-scale stream data processing. So with this architecture, we're able to adapt to different rates of data and create, and we're able to create and deliver solutions that offer real-time streaming analytics. So not just data movement from our HDF 1.0 paradigm, but now with 2.0, we're able to incorporate into our solution a standalone solution, real-time streaming analytics. So let's move a little bit further into the architecture. So with this architecture that you see, we're able to do data flow management and stream processing. And we can build it to scale. And it's very, very important. And we can build from the core to the regional data center all the way out to the edge and back. Now, this is a picture more from an architectural perspective of what we've been describing here with NiFi, MiniFi, Kafka, and Storm. But if you notice, we've also added enterprise services to HDF 2.0. In this case, what you're seeing is we've been able to add Apache Ambari for deployment, configuration, and management of the platform, and Apache Ranger. So those are two examples of enterprise services that we've incorporated. And I do want to make sure everyone understands that HDF 2.0 is a data in motion platform, and it does not discriminate. That means any source to any target, okay? So that's real important for everyone to understand. So that being an introduction to the 2.0 platform and evolution, let's dive into data ingestion into Hadoop, made easy. So we're talking about this because it is a very hot topic, and as you can see from the quote here, big data's biggest problem. From this perspective, from this article, it's too hard to get data into Hadoop. So the good news is that HDF makes it very easy to move data into Hadoop or HDP, or for that matter, anywhere else. What you're seeing here is a quote from Royal Mail, and basically talking about being able to streamline the flow of data and build models and visualizations very quickly and iteratively. So that's real important, and that accelerates ROI. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about data flow and data movement. You know, it seems easy to move data from one source to another, but in actuality, it's actually really complex. So let's take a look at that. So in reality, data is flowing all over. It's stored in multiple places. Sometimes it's interim, sometimes it's long-term. We all know it's being processed in different places, then it's getting moved again. The honest truth is data movement in an enterprise can become very complicated, convoluted, very messy. So that's where we invest, and that's where HDF makes it easy to move data to anywhere. It does accelerate our return on investment, and it shrinks the delivery time of data from months to minutes. So what we want to do is we're going to dive into some usage cases that are platform specific, and then we're going to jump into partner solutions that are available for you today from some of our early adopter partners for our certification program. So let's start with Platform 2.0 usage cases. If we categorize usage cases for HDF, we really have two major buckets or categories. One is data flow management for data in motion. That would be, as we just described, data ingestion, or the first mile problem, or physical data movement, with some simple event processing, some routing, some filtering, some enrichment, some transformation, but mainly to get that data moved from point A to point B to point C. So those are absolute challenges that are out there, and that's where our NiFi comes in. The second major category of usage case for our solution set solved by HDF 2.0 is stream processing. That's where we're going to incorporate, we will absolutely incorporate flow management, and we're going to deliver that data to stream processing. And we're going to be able to do complex pattern matching on unbound streams of data. So that's the second category. Both categories are valid. Both categories are important. And so we'll take a look at one of each. So the first one we'll look at is ingest, a little bit more concrete example here. This one's optimizing log analytics. And we want to be able to provide context-based routing. So that's what we are seeing here. On the left-hand side, we're doing edge analytics, and this allows us to bring cost-effective, efficient movement of machine data. We all realize that machines can produce massive amounts of information. So let's move the information we want to move, and let's move it when we want to move it, and route it where we want to route it. So let's say we're routing it into HDF from the machine. We are going to look at intelligent context-based routing, okay? We'll do some transformation, we'll do some enrichment, and then we'll send that data, whether we send it to HDP or whether we send it off to a log analytics platform. That is one usage case. Now let's go ahead and look at a more real-time insight. In this case, Company X provides an alerting system. So just think of an alerting system and think about a user who has a monitor, a heart rate monitor, and if their at-rest heart rate exceeds a certain threshold, we want to send an alert. Now, in this case, we're going to send the alert to a dashboard or a visualization tool, but it could just as well be a text to a significant other or anything like that, operations center, ambulance, etc. So on the left-hand side, let's take a look at what we've got. We've got a bunch of wearable devices. We've got Garmin, Fitbit, iWatch, and wearable XYZ. They're all sending data to different cloud instances. In this case, we've got 3 different cloud instances that we're going to acquire data from. Now, at the core data center, what we're going to do, once we've acquired the data, shipped it over, we're going to, and we've accessed the cloud and the instances, we're going to parse and filter, validate, enrich, and route. Okay, we might move it into a historic store, but we also may route to an analytics pattern matching platform. So this is an example of a usage case that is perfectly fit for HDF 2.0. Okay, so those are 2 platform-based examples. Now, I will go quickly over this slide. You can actually have this as a takeaway, but the idea here is we're acquiring that wearable device data from the cloud. We're going to move that data from the cloud instance to the on-prem. we're going to perform intelligent routing and filtering. We're going to deliver the data downstream. We need to parse. We need to enrich. Now, in the blue, we're going to do pattern. We'll look at the pattern of the rest heart rate, see if it exceeds a threshold, create an alert. We even are going to be running outlier detection models. Now, on the right, you can see that flow management comes into play up top in the green highlighted components or steps in this architecture. And we're doing that with NiFi, MiniFi, and partner integration. And at the bottom, we've got stream processing. We're going to use Kafka, Storm, and partner ecosystem. And so that's a perfect example of a complete usage case with HDF, and we can enhance that with the partner ecosystem. And that enables what we'll talk to, we're being able to enable, what we're seeing here is an architectural transformation, and it's actually enabled by our theme of the connected data platform. So whether it's cloud or on-prem, over here we're looking at the cloud, we've got edge devices, we're doing edge analytics, we've got HDF for data in motion in the cloud, it's running in the cloud, we're moving data to data at rest, we're doing some machine learning there. On-prem, an example would be, let's take a look at what we're doing on-prem. We've also got on-prem capturing edge device using data in motion. And here we've got data at rest. On-prem, we're doing deep historic analytics. We've also on-prem got another cluster where we're doing closed loop analytics, and we're even doing some complex event processing at the edge, as even outside the data center, even outside of Storm, so within the flow. And we'll talk about how we're enabling that. But this is the future of data. This is an architectural transformation. We're able to bring innovation that we haven't been able to do in the past with this connected data platform. So now that we've been able to give you the introduction, let's move on to our next topic, and that is partner integration certification. So let me talk a little bit about that. I'm in the partner engineering team, and I help to pull together our new program. We created from scratch a kit. We'll look for your feedback, but we did announce this new certification on August 10th. And the reasoning behind this is as HDF expands, we know that enterprises are looking for proven integration, and they want to mitigate deployment risk. They want something that's pre-tested. They want something that's certified. So the fastest way to get started with this, if you're a partner, is to email partnerdesk@hortonworks.com. And there is a page here at the bottom of the page, product integration certification. And let me show you what that looks like. If you click on that page, there is a button that says Get the Kit. Now, what will actually happen is it'll email the partner desk for you, and we'll set you up with the kit. Now, let's just talk about what's involved. So it's really 3 simple steps, okay? The first step is you need to join Hortonworks. You need to be a partner. The second step is you ask for the kit and you complete the kit. That involves a certification report, reference architecture of the integration or effort, and a solutions overview. That would be a marketing asset that we would collaborate with our marketing team on. Those 3 components would be completed, shipped back to our desk, and then we would schedule a joint, third step, we'd do a joint review with partner engineering with my team, our team. I work for Ajay Singh in partner engineering, and our team would work on finalizing the certification and formalizing it. So that's the 3 steps to certification, so it's very straightforward. Now, with that said, let's get into some exciting partner ecosystem solutions that we want to share with you, some of our early adopter partners for 2.0 who joined our certification program. What we want to talk about before we do that is we actually want to talk about the platform itself, and we want to talk about all the capability that's enabled within the platform. So what we're looking at here is we're actually looking at a number of plug-and-play components that are part of HDF 2.0. Those components allow us to seamlessly drag and drop and build workflows from many sources, many targets. We've got lots of things to deal with. We've got lots of different protocols. We've got lots of different formats. We've got to be able to handle the different latency and the different connections. So you see within the box we've got, I think, over 180 plus processors that are seamless drag and drop, almost Lego-like blocks that we pull down onto a workplace pallet. If we incorporate the partner capabilities, we continue to expand that environment to provide solutions like I'm going to show you. So let me go to the next slide. This first one comes to us from HPE, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, with a connected vehicle case. And this is a big data primary data flow. Now, what we want to describe more is the NiFi integration that they've done, which is very exciting up on the top left side of the screen. What they've done from a technology perspective is they have a capability. They have format preserving encryption, or FPE, and they've integrated that with HDF 2.0 and Apache NiFi specifically. They've built NiFi processors that you can seamlessly drag and drop into any NiFi workflow. Now, this integration enables data center protection and sensitive streaming data, as an example from sensors like PII or PHI data. Now, with HDF, if we complement that format preserving encryption with HDF is, as we've been talking about, a proven, easy-to-use, enterprise-ready platform for data in motion. And if we complement that with HPE FPE, we get customers get a high-performance format-preserving encryption, and they can basically virtually use this for unlimited data types. Now, one thing to point out is this capability from HPE is using NIST standard SFI AES encryption, and that was that AES encryption was actually pioneered by HPE. So that's been seamlessly integrated, and this enables us to support new regulatory requirements. This encryption, one of those is per the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, and that was issued just recently by the European Union. So this is very current integration supporting this regulatory requirement out of EMEA. Let's take a look at another partner of ours. We've got SAS, and SAS Event Stream Processing is what we're looking at today. SAS has a number of capabilities in the analytics, advanced analytics integrated with Hortonworks. Today we're going to focus on SAS Event Stream Processing. Our two R&D teams work together, and they've built a couple of NiFi processors, and those NiFi processors support complex event processing for data in motion. So anywhere you're running a NiFi workflow, or whenever you're building one through the UI, you can easily drag and drop that into your NiFi workflow to allow for CEP, complex event processing, at the edge. So we're providing edge analytics. The other examples of usage cases that we're solving with this, including not only this integration, but also the integration of SaaS within HDP, whether it be cloud or on-prem. We're utilizing machine learning. We're utilizing deep historic analytics from SaaS, world-class analytics, to solve cybersecurity, fraud, preventative maintenance, customer experience, and stream data management. So we're very excited about the processors that SaaS has built, and they became available in August of this year with ESP 4.1. Let's take a look at another partner real quick. We're going to move on to Attunity. And so Attunity Replicate is what we're looking at here. And with Attunity Replicate, it was actually built for HDF and HDP. What we're able to do is they've actually developed in-memory optimized metadata management and data transportation, or data transport. And they've integrated this seamlessly with Kafka. So what this does from a value perspective is it provides automated data ingest as well as incremental data ingest, and it supports a broad array of data sources. And so we're very excited about this integration with Kafka and HDP 2.0. And I'm sorry, HDF 2.0. So let's look at Impetus. We've got a product from Impetus called Stream Analytics. And what you're seeing here is Stream Analytics deployed at the core. Stream Analytic, and they've actually, in this picture, we've deployed NiFi to all the edge nodes. Now, NiFi is offering some simple ingest, alerts, local persistent with out at the edge on the edge nodes, and all the data is being filtered, and so the events are received and filtered. And Stream Analytic is performing predictive analytics, anomaly detection, CEP. They're doing reporting, and they can handle one example of what they offer is multi-stream correlation. So this is a very exciting integration using NiFi and Kafka, and we're excited about this. Let's move on to Kepware. Kepware is one of our ecosystem partners. And what you're seeing here is a support for the industrial industry. So edge devices where we might need to do some polling out to those edge devices. So what you're looking at on the far left is your data sources. Then you have a polling and protocol translation layer, the polling by Kepware and protocol translation. So the Kepware polls the external devices, and that's sort of a proxy that then moves into a polling engine with NiFi. They're leveraging HBase for real-time database, and they're using HDFS for long-term storage. So this is an exciting partner that we're working with out in the marketplace. And so we've also got Midfin Systems. This is the last example that I have for you today. And before we get close to opening up for questions, with Midfin Systems, they've built an eFabric data plane. So it's a eCompute, eStorage, and eNetwork software-defined fabric, if you look at the bottom of the screen. And what they're able to do is basically spin up HDF and, for that matter, HDP in the cloud and extend your on-prem usage cases. So this is very exciting. They worked with 2.0 and they worked with moving this. They were actually working with HDF 1.0 as well. So we're real excited to have this partner helping us and our customers in the cloud space. So that gives you an idea of some of the partners who have joined our certification program. One of the things we wanted to provide to you is some more information on where you could go as a follow-up. I'll share that with you, and then we'll open it up to any questions that we may have. So let's look at this. First and foremost, I hope everybody out there has joined Hortonworks Community Connection. Here's the URL in the top right of the screen, community.hortonworks.com. And if you see, we're highlighting in the middle of the left side of the screen, we're highlighting data ingestion and streaming. So you'll be able to drill down into your favorite topic and work within the community to review communication going on, or even ask your own question. So it's a very very open, exciting community, and we highly recommend that if you're going down this path, you join up. And the other thing we've got for you is our Partnerworks site. You can check out all our ecosystem partners. We've got HDF certification link here. We've got the link to, this is one in a series of webinars around our HDF 2.0 launch. So please check out past events that are already recorded and future events. If you want to get a sandbox and start using the tech right now, please feel free to click on the sandbox link. And obviously, if you need more information about HDF or HDP, we've got a couple links here for you as well. So with that said, I would like to ask Anna if we've got any questions out there that she'd like us to cover.
So I'm looking at the chat window. If anybody has questions, if you could please type them into the chat window, and we will get back to you. We'll give you a minute or so. Obviously, Mark just gave you a whole list of resources to take a look at. If you don't have questions, or if you do have questions later, we do encourage you to check out Hortonworks Community Connection and the other links that we have on the page. But we'll give you another minute in case anybody has any direct questions that Mark can answer for you real time. And if not, we will conclude in a minute.
Yeah, while we're waiting on the questions, I mean, I'm just really excited, number one, about the HDF and the large ecosystem of processors that we already have in the box, and all the data formats that we're supporting, all the protocols that we already support, basically to create code-free workflows. You don't really have to code to make this to make a lot of this happen. So that's very, very exciting. And I really encourage you to get out there and try this out.
I do have to say, every time a customer or a prospect or a person actually sees HDF, they're pretty excited. Like Mark is really excited because every person who sees it is excited when they see it. So we really do appreciate, we do really encourage you to check it out. I do see a couple questions coming in. First question is, what is NiFi? So Mark, I guess we should probably quickly explain that, what is NiFi. Maybe they missed the beginning. If you want to just quickly recap how HDF and NiFi fit together. And there's one more question after that.
Sure. Yeah, sure, no problem. And if we get others, we can answer them. So what is NiFi? So folks, Apache NiFi is a capability that is a component that's a part of the HDF 2.0 package. Remember I mentioned, and I'll explain what it is, but I had mentioned NiFi, NiFi, Storm and Kafka, Ranger, and Ambari. Well, NiFi is your enterprise data movement capability, Apache NiFi. And just so you realize, the capability has been out there for almost a decade. It was used by the NSA, and then in 2014, they off-boarded it to the open source community. It became a top-level project, and the engineering team spun off and went to support NiFi as an enterprise data movement capability. It's got a command and control UI, and it makes it very, very seamless to build data flow from point A to point B to point C, regardless of latency, regardless of, it's highly secure, And regardless of the size of your event, it could be a small XML, it could be a large video, it could be anything in between. It will guarantee that delivery in a secure manner across any bandwidth. And so that's very, and with any pressure, and it has back and release pressure. So that's what the product, the capability is. It's called it's actually an open project, Apache NiFi. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
Please go to our and please go to our site, hortonworks.com/HDF, and then click on NiFi, and you'll get more information if you need it.
There are a couple more questions that have come in. They're both a little bit specific. One of them related to the presentation about MidFin, and the question is, how do I get more information to try out? I think what you meant, the question meant was MiFi Edge Cloud HDF 2.0. So where do I get more information about MiFi? But there's also a question about MidFin, so I'm not sure which one it is. It might be both. If you could answer where you find information on both of them, that would be helpful.
So MinFin Edge Cloud, and those are MinFin Edge Cloud is a data fabric, a cloud fabric environment where we can run HDF 2.0 or we can run HDP. So it's a cloud-based environment to extend your on-prem seamless spin-up of HDF. There's really no work. You just click a button and it starts up HDF in the cloud. And that company, MinFin Systems, you can Google them and you'll be able to go to their website and be able to get a lot more information about that. That's this example here. So MinFin Systems, just Google MinFin Systems, and we also should have a partner page on them as well. And we are in the process of putting more information out on the partner page. So bear with us. Get a hold of us directly if you wanted to discuss this. They're our partner, and we could jointly help you out. So I did see another question, Anna, around EMEA Data Privacy Certification, HDF.
Yes, I do see that.
And I wanted to touch on that. Let me clarify what I was saying. Can you go to the HPE example? It's the first one. It's about 5 slides back. So Hewlett-Packard Enterprise has led the charge with a pioneering encryption capability, okay? And that encryption capability uses NIST standard FF1 AES encryption. Now, the regulation, the General Data Protection Regulation that I mentioned was issued by the European Union, okay? And within that, this encryption does support that new regulation. Now, how can you leverage this encryption, let's say, in a HDF 2.0 data flow? You can ask HPE Data Security Team for the technology, and you could you could R&D integrate it yourself, or you could get their NiFi processors and seamlessly drag and drop this encryption into any NiFi workflow. So we recommend you talk to HPE Data Security and you get their NiFi processors. If you want to enhance the encryption, we do have encryption out of the box, off the shelf with HDF and NiFi, but this is an enhanced encryption, and it actually leverages as I described. I hope that answers the question. We don't have it meets the needs of the data privacy regulation, if that makes it clear. Okay. I hope that helps.
I think as a topic, Mark, also if you're curious about that, data privacy is highly correlated to the capabilities of the Apache NiFi capability itself in terms of provenance as well and encrypting the data, and there's more to it. So obviously HP has a solution, but coming from the ex-NSA world, there is a lot of capabilities built into the product too. So we do encourage you to check out what Apache NiFi can do and then talk to HPE as well. Does that make sense to you, Mark?
It makes great sense, and I wanted to mention, hey, if anybody wants to ask our partner desk a question, our team will answer it, and we can also engage you with our partner ecosystem. So if you just want to send an email to partnerdesk@hortonworks.com, if you come up with a new question or if we haven't thoroughly answered your question, you will get to our team, and we will make every effort possible to get back to you as fast as we can. And we'll even link you up with our partners as you need to, and or answer platform-specific questions as it relates to 2.0 HDF. So don't hesitate to send an email to our partner desk, partnerdesk@hortonworks.com.
So I see one last question about Sandbox for HDF 2.0, and the answer to that question is we are working on that, but it is not something that is available yet. We do have some tutorials that you can kind of play with things with HDF and HTTP together, but not just a sandbox right now.
Well, Anna, I hope everybody got the information they were looking for today, and thank you for having me.
It was great. Thank you very much for sharing the information, and it will be available on demand for anybody who missed it or who wants to share this with your coworkers or your colleagues, so that you can all be as versed as Mark is by viewing the on-demand video. So thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time, and again, Partner Desk will be able to answer your questions if you need additional questions answered, and of course those resources at the end of the deck. Thank you very much.